Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. So, uh, Aditi Lata Mataji and Achintadev Prabhu's son Jeet is not feeling well. Uh, he is in the hospital, and so please keep him in your prayers when you're chanting. So let's chant one round of japa. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता as it is की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita shloka. We are reciting from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 13, text 21. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji.
Karya Karana Kartritva Hetu Prakriti Ruchyate Purusha Sukha Dukhanam Bhoktritva Hetu Ruchyate. Nature is said
Bhoktritve and Kartritve.
Bhoktritve Hetu Ruchyate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyment in this world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Karyakarana kartavye hetu prakritirujyate purusha sukha dukhanam bhoktra hetur uchyate. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Karyakarana kartritve hetuhu prakritiruchyate purushah sukha dukhanam bhoktritve heturuchyate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else needs to go first? Okay, we'll go in order. Isha.
कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुखदुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Krishnashish.
कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुखदुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतु उच्यते. Nature is said to be the cause of all material effects and causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Madhava. Yeah, your sentence was not very clear. It was not very clearly audible. I don't know if it is your device or. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Okay. Yeah. Rasapriya.
Karyakarana kartritve hetu prakritirujyate purusha sukha dukhanam bhoktritve heturuchyate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world.
Yeah. Next is Narsimha Leela Chaitanya Prabhu and family.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
कार्यकारणकर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. Translation by Stone by C.C. Nectar is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Hare Krishna.
Nilambari Radha Mataji.
Krishna Mataji.
Oh, you are there. Sorry. Go ahead.
Mataji, can I do at the end?
Yeah.
Can I-
Yeah, no problem. Spurti or Suhriti, I heard.
Karya Karna
Kartritve
Katratve Hetu Prakriti
Uchyate
Uchate Urusha Sukha Dush
Dukhanam
Dukhanam
Bhoktritve
Bhukritve Hetur Uchate. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna, thank you. Okay. Saujanya Mataji and Pragna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Salvation to Srila Prabhupada, our glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Mataji.
Karya Karana Kartratve Hetu Praktiri Uchate Purusha Sukha Dukhanam Bhoktratve Heturuchate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Pragna is there, Mataji?
No, Mataji.
Okay. So I'll recite and then Mataji Nilambari Radha Mataji will recite. Karya Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, text 21. Karya Karana Kartritve Hetuhu Prakritiruchyate Purushaha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktritve Heturuchyate. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this material world, or in this world. Nilambari Radha Mataji, you're the only one left.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Karya Karana Kartrite Hetu Prakritir Uchate Purusha Sukha Dukkhanam Bhoktritve Heturuchate. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyone else? No, right? Okay. Srimad Sonia Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji. You can recite the verse. Sonia Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, Mataji, can you recite, please?
Yeah. Karya Karana Kartritve
Karyakarana Kartritve
Hetuhu Prakritiruchyate
Hetuhu Prakritir Uchyate
Purushaha Sukha Dukkhanam
Purushaha Sukha Dukkhanam
Bhoktritve Heturuchyate.
Bhoktritve Heturuchyate. Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various suffering and enjoyments in this world. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So let's read Srimad Bhagavatam now. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 21, the dynasty of Bharat Maharaj. And in that, we were reading about Rantidev. And yesterday we saw how being a pure devotee, so we spent a lot of time about how Rantidev was a pure devotee yesterday. And finally, in the verse before this, previous to this, we saw that Rantidev was a pure devotee. Therefore, Maya had no influence on him. In fact, Maya just disappeared for him. Yes, because he is a pure devotee, Maya ceased to exist for him. How? Do you remember the analogy to compare that? How Maya just disappeared for him? Anyone remembers? What is the analogy given?
Sun.
Sun. I explained it in terms of sun. Yes, Krishna Surya Sama Maya hoy andhakar. Jaha Krishna taha nahi Maya radhikar. So when one becomes Krishna conscious, then like when the sun rises, there is no darkness that is there. That was explained in the purport. But in the verse itself, it is.
The demigods came in the form of those Chandala and other. So his desire was, his hunger and thirst was not prominent because he was, and they were asking, I mean, they were, the analogy was that when Lord Shiva and everyone was there, then a materialistic person would desire for something, would ask for something, but he did
No,
not.
Mataji. No. Analogy means comparing with some other situation. That is analogy.
A dream example is she said.
Yes. So Mataji saying that's that. Yes, Mataji. Dream. So the point here was because he's a pure devotee, Maya had no control on him. In fact, Maya just disappeared for him. How is that? When someone is sleeping, he's dreaming, right? But as soon as he wakes up, the dream disappears. That's the analogy. Like that. And then, of course, and remember, we had a lot of discussion about that dream yesterday. Aditi Lata Mataji was saying, like, when we dream, the mind becomes calm, and sometimes, we get solutions to problems, things like that. We were discussing on this analogy of dream. Okay, so now we'll continue to the next verse. So the verse was, because Rantidev was a pure devotee, he was transcendental to the three modes of material nature, or in other words, three modes of material nature, they are so how these modes are acting on the living entity. So this material energy is Maya, right? So Maya ceased to exist for Rantidev. Why? Because he was a pure devotee. And how do you say he's a pure devotee? We discussed 6 points yesterday, right? So we saw that he didn't make any endeavors to earn his livelihood. He saw the Supreme Lord in every living entity. That is why he was offering whatever he had to anyone who came to him. Then he didn't have any desire. Well, third point was what? Third point was something else. Yeah, he couldn't bear to see the sufferings of others, right? That is why his prayer was, my Lord. Okay, so let's say the third point was that he when the Chandala asked him for water, he said that I don't want liberation, I don't want any of these siddhis, but rather I want to suffer. I want to live here with the suffering souls and accept their sufferings so that they can all be liberated. So there are 2 points in this prayer. One point is he has no desire for anything. His only desire is Krishna consciousness or Krishna prema. How do you know? Krishna Prema, because the mature form of Krishna Prema is compassion for others. So this also shows that he's a pure devotee. He has no other desire save and except Krishna consciousness. And then the fourth point was, when the demigods appeared in front of him, he didn't ask for anything from them because he had nothing to ask from anyone. His only focus was on Krishna. He was not deviated to anyone else. His focus was only on his Ishtadev, right? His Lord. And then also we saw that how he's continuously meditating on the Supreme Lord, right? Constantly he's meditating on the Supreme Lord. That is why even when the demigods appeared, he did not, he didn't ask anything from them, right? They could have offered him so many benedictions, but he didn't ask. And I think we got 6 points yesterday. If Nilambari Radha Mataji, you not noted down, if you remember the 6th point that I said yesterday, you can tell me. And if you're busy with your DT worship, it's okay. We'll just continue. Okay, we'll just continue.
Mataji, 1 second.
Or you can just read out the 6 points, one after another. It's fine.
Yes, Mataji. He does not make any endeavor for his own self to so dependent. He was totally dependent on Lord. He sees his
His Lord in all living entities. Yeah.
He sees his Lord in all living entities.
Yeah.
He sees only the Lord only the Lord. My God, I couldn't read my handwriting. Only the Lord in as
his object of worship.
Yeah, and then he cannot tolerate other living entities' pain and suffering.
Yes.
He is compassionate with the his compassion only desire, not for the Lord. And is Ishavashyam, that is also the one of the points.
Usha Mataji brought that point out. Yes, yeah.
And his focus is unbroken towards the free from all material desires, no desires for his liberation.
Yes, yes, Mataji. Thank you. So the point that I missed was how he's able to relate to the suffering of others. He sees others' suffering as his own suffering. That's also another point. Like this, we got 6 points yesterday. So now continuation, text 18. And Saujanya Mataji, your turn. And if Pragnya is there, she can also read. Tat prasanganubhavena ranti devanuvartinaha abhavan yoginaha sarve narayana parayanaha.
All those who followed the principles of King Rantideva were totally favored by his mercy and became pure devotees attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana. Thus, they all became the best of the yogis.
Hare Krishna. All those who followed the principles of King Rantidev. So the 6 points that we said, so these are all the principles of pure devotional service. Not just of pure devotional service, these are of a Mahabhagavata, right? In pure devotional service also you have sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti. In bhakti also you have kanishta, madhyama and uttama, right? This is uttama bhakta, the symptoms that we are seeing. Mahabhagavat sees his Lord in everything and everyone. That is a sign of a Mahabhagavat devotee. He sees his Lord in everything and everyone. And also, not only that, he also sees. So, see, this is a Mahabhagavat, so he has so much love for the Supreme Lord, isn't it? He has so much love for the Supreme Lord. Not only is he seeing his Lord in every living entity, but he's also seeing that every living entity loves the Lord so much. How much love? Whatever love he has for the Lord, he sees that others are loving the Lord. So his love is actually reflected in everyone. He's seeing that everyone loves the Lord so much and he doesn't have any love for the Lord. Not only that, every living entity, every person, but even inanimate objects also love the Lord so much. So this is inconceivable for a conditioned soul, how it is possible. So first of all, he sees the Lord everywhere. So when he sees, all of a sudden he'll be seeing a rock. Remember Madhavendra Puri, he would see the clouds, rain clouds, and then he would faint because he would see Krishna. That color is reminding him of Krishna. Mukunda, you remember Raghunandan Thakur's father, Mukunda Sarkar. So he would be he is not fanning. He's a a doctor. Is he a doctor? I think he's a doctor of the king, and or maybe he has some post, but he is standing and he sees that somebody is fanning the king. Well, the servant is fanning the king with a peacock fan, and he sees the peacock fan and he's seeing, everything is reminding him of Krishna. He sees Krishna in everything. And then he just faints. He goes into ecstasy. And from a high podium, he was standing on the same high elevated position as the king. And then he just falls down, comes down, rolling. He falls down on the ground. So these are all symptoms of Mahabhagavat devotees, right? So he sees his Lord in everything, but also not only is he seeing his Lord in everything, but he's seeing the love that he has. He sees that everyone has. Another example. So when he sees the trees, this is there in Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna and Balaram, they are walking in the forest of Vrindavan and the trees are all bent down. So Lord Krishna is saying, my dear Balaram, all these trees are bowing down to you at your lotus feet. They are welcoming you by bowing down at your lotus feet. And so it is said that, a Mahabhagavat tree sees that these trees are bowing down to each other. Actually, now I'm forgetting the details. This comes in Bhakti Sandarbha, the symptoms of a Mahabhagavat. So he sees, okay, so the tree, one tree is bowing down to another tree. Why? Because this tree is seeing the other tree as a great devotee. Oh, this tree has so much love for Krishna, so one tree is bowing down to that tree. And that tree is also bowing down to this tree. Why these trees are bowing down to each other? Are the trees actually bowing down to each other? This is the Mahabhagavat devotee's vision. He's standing there and he's seeing the trees and he is seeing that the trees have so much love for Krishna that they, out of love, they see everyone as a devotee and they're bowing down to everyone as a devotee. Actually, the trees are bowing down or not, we don't know. But a Mahabhagavat's vision is like this. Everyone has so much love for Krishna. He sees that the water of Yamuna is flowing, and in certain places, the water just goes in circles and ripples. So then the devotee thinks that, oh, this water is so greedy, right? When Krishna comes and places his lotus foot there, they don't want to leave Krishna. The nature of the river is to flow continuously. But when they see Krishna's lotus foot, they don't want to flow. They go against their nature. They stop there and they just do parikrama of Krishna's lotus foot there. That's why they stop in one place and they're circling. So what to speak of living entities? Rantidev is seeing, Rantidev Maharaj is seeing the Lord in every living entity. A Mahabhagavat devotee sees not only the Lord in every living entity, he sees the Lord in every inanimate object, but also he sees that all these living entities has so much love for Krishna. They may not have any love. But his vision is everyone loves Krishna so much. Every object loves Krishna so much. So this verse is saying that anyone who follows the principles of King Rantidev, so if somebody is, okay, even others like, he's completely dependent on the Lord. He's not even endeavoring to earn his livelihood. That's a principle. He's seeing the Lord in every living entity. He's feeling, he can experience the suffering of others because he sees others' suffering as his own suffering and he tries to mitigate their suffering. He has nothing to ask from the demigods. His only object is his Ishtadev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These are the principles. All those who followed the principles of King Rantidev were totally favored by his mercy. So, if anyone followed Rantidev's principles, like seeing what he is doing, and he's a king, so following in his footsteps, if anyone also tries to follow the same principles, then he will receive the mercy of Rantidev here, his mercy. This is the benefit of following a Vaishnava, right? A Vaishnava teaches also, right? Like Srila Prabhupada gives practical steps how to practice devotional service. So if you simply follow the instructions, and his instructions are universal, they're for everyone. Srila Prabhupada's instructions are there in his books, in his lectures. So if there are many, you take even one of those instructions to your heart and you follow, what is the result? You will receive Srila Prabhupada's mercy. And if you receive the mercy of a devotee, Krishna's mercy must follow. This is Krishna's, that's his system. Because he says, Aham Bhakta Paradhina, right? I am completely defeated by the love of my devotee. So, when the devotee desires to give his mercy to someone, when the devotee gives his mercy to someone, Krishna's mercy will follow. Certainly it will follow. And how can we get the mercy of a devotee? You follow the principles or the instructions that are given by the devotee. You try to please the devotee, in other words. How do you please the devotee? Carry out whatever he is instructing. You try to follow sincerely. Even take one instruction. By that you will receive the devotee's mercy. When you receive the devotee's mercy, then Krishna's mercy will follow. If you receive Krishna's mercy, what will you lack? You get everything. So, here, all those who followed the principles of King Rantidev were totally favored by his mercy and became pure devotees. They became pure devotees. How they became pure devotees? By receiving the mercy of a pure devotee, they became pure devotees. So when you receive the mercy of a devotee, you will receive Krishna's mercy. When you receive Krishna's mercy, Krishna is revealed to you. So all those who followed the principles of King Rantidev were totally favored by his mercy and became pure devotees. Pure devotees means what? Completely attached. Attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan. Thus they all became the best of yogis. Pure devotee is the best of all yogis. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam sameyukta tamamata. Right? Okay, purport. Is Pragnya there, Mataji? Not there. So we'll go to Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunita purport.
Yes,
Not there. You're there. Yes.
the best of the yogis from there.
Yes.
Okay, the best of the best yogis or mystics are the devotees, as confirmed by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita 6.47. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yoman same yukta tamo mata. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. The best yogi is he who constantly thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead within the core of the heart. Because Rantideva was the king, the chief executive in the state, all the residents of the state became devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, by the king's transcendental association. This is the influence of the pure devotee. If there is one pure devotee, his association can create hundreds and thousands of pure devotees. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said that a Vaishnava is meritorious in proportion to the number of devotees he has created. A Vaishnava becomes superior not simply by jugglery of words, but by the number of devotees he has created for the Lord. Here, the word Rantidevanu Vartina indicates that Rantideva's officers, friends, relatives, and subjects all became first class Vaishnavas by his association. In other words, Rantideva is confirmed herein to be a first class devotee or Mahabhagavat. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Ahur Vimukte. One should render service to such Mahatmas, for then one will automatically achieve the goal of liberation. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has also said, Chariya Vaishnav Seva Nishtara Peche Keva. One cannot be liberated by his own effort, but if one becomes subordinate to a pure Vaishnava, the door to liberation is open. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. So the point is, because Rantidev was a pure devotee, anyone who followed in his footsteps also became a pure devotee. Okay. And pure devotee means he's the best of all yogis. So who is the best of all yogis? One who's always thinking about the Supreme Lord within the core of his heart is the best of all yogis. Yoga means what? Especially when you talk of yoga, we are talking about Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is about meditation, meditating on Paramatma. But who is the best of all yogis? You have Karma Yogi, you have Jnana Yogi, Ashtanga Yogi, and Bhakti Yogi. So the Bhakti Yogi, one who is able to always keep the Lord in the core of his heart, he is the best of all yogis. So there, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains on this verse, Madgaten Antaratmana. Right? This Madgaten Antaratmana is talking about the Asakti stage of Bhakti. Because in that Asakti stage, you are never deviated from that. Constant meditation of the Supreme Lord is there in the heart. Before that, there is endeavor. But once you come to Asakti, it's like continuously you're meditating on the Supreme Lord within the core of your heart. You're so attached. That's why this is the last verse of the 6th chapter. The first verse of the 7th chapter. Remember what is the first verse of the 7th chapter? Anyone remembers? 7:1. Mayyasakta manah partha yogam yunjan madashraya asamshayam samagram mam yatha gyasasi tachrinu. Mai asakta. So this is the continuation from the last verse of the 6th chapter. Madgaten antaratmana is a symptom of a devotee who is in asakti. So you see, Bhagavad Gita is a preliminary study, isn't it? It is a preliminary study of spiritual science. But it is not that in the preliminary stages we are only talking about you are not this body, your spirit, soul. Krishna is giving the highest also in that. So Krishna is talking on, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, a devotee, is able to see in those verses. He can actually see the highest levels of bhakti. Krishna is giving, talking about asakti stage of bhakti in Bhagavad Gita. So anyway, that was a side point. So that's why this yoginam api sarvesham matgatena antaratmana, that means the best of all yogis. Who is the best of all yogis? One who is always able to think of Krishna within his heart. This happens at that stage of bhakti. So it's pure devotional service. If someone is able to think of Supreme Lord at all times within the core of his heart, that is pure devotional service. So Rantidev had that. Rantidev had that. He was the best of all yogis, and anyone who followed him. Now, who will follow him? Rantidev is a king. He's a king, right? So many are looking up to the king. All his subjects are looking up to him, and they follow in his footsteps. That is why yad yad acharati sreshtas tad tad evetaro jana. Those who are sreshta means great personalities, right? Yadyad acharati sreshta, best of all people, sreshta. Yadyad acharati sreshtas, tattad evetaro janaha. Sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. So whatever he does, everyone will try to copy. We see that in this world, isn't it? Like you have, what is this fashion, right? In some movie, some heroine or hero, they wear some clothes, and that becomes the trend in society. Everyone wants to look like them, wear clothes like them, isn't it? Have a hairstyle like them, so on and so forth. Of course, in Kali Yuga, you don't know who is Sreshta. You'll take anyone as Sreshta and you follow them. But the principle is still there. Whatever a great person does, everyone tries to copy that person, imitate that person. Whatever standards that person sets by his personal example, people take that as a standard. Even somebody, you look up to someone, they think that becoming a doctor is a very prestigious thing. Now everyone wants their children to become doctors, or everyone wants their children to go into IIT, or become an engineer, or somebody went, one great person, in my view somebody is great, and that person's child went to America. Now everyone wants to send their children to America, isn't it? So when you see so for us, somebody who's successful, or someone who is, has a lot of influence in a big position, we look up to them, and whatever they do, we also want to do the same thing. Even in devotee circles also, we see that, so and so's child went to this particular school. Oh, that must be good. I will also put my children in this school. So imagine how much power there is when you are in the position of a leader, how much you can do. So if you set the right example, how many people you can actually help. Rantidev was a king. What a responsible position. Not just one family or a few families in that community are looking up to him, but the entire kingdom. And if he's the emperor, the entire planet, all the other kings, all the subjects are looking up to him. If he is a pure devotee of Krishna, can you imagine what kind of influence it's going to have on everyone? Besides that, not just that he's a king, if you are a pure devotee, it does not matter your position. If you are a pure devotee, recently we had Kirtan Mela in Mayapur. So whenever we have Kirtan Mela, they post, or at least this year they did. I think they do it other times also, I don't remember. But this year I saw, they have all these quotes by various acharyas who have already departed. Even our ISKCON gurus and sannyasis who have departed, like His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj, Kadam Kanan Maharaj, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, plus our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. We have quotes, big, in big letters all around the temple. About what? About the glory of the holy name. Huh?
They do it every year.
They do it every year. Yes. Okay.
Last year also they did. I
Yes.
don't know before that.
Yeah, I think they do it every year. Yes, Mataji. Yeah, last year I was not here for Kirtan Mela. I left just before Kirtan Mela. Or
Yeah, yeah.
maybe, yeah. So, but in that quote, one of the quotes by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it says like, how do you know who is, or actually there's a quote by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So the very presence, how do you know one is a pure devotee? The very presence of that person will induce everyone around to chant Hare Krishna. Not that he's telling others to chant. Just his presence, you see him and immediately you're inspired to say Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. That means he's a pure devotee. And here we are seeing Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's statement. How do you know if someone is an advanced devotee? A Vaishnava is meritorious in proportion to the number of devotees he has created. Number of devotees that he has created. And also, my dear friends, devotees, number of devotees, that is certainly there. And also, the quality of their devotion is also there. You are what you associate with. If you associate with a pure devotee, you will also become a pure devotee. No doubt about that. You will also become a pure devotee if you are associating with a pure devotee. So certainly the number of devotees, is it easy to make devotees? I think most of you go on book distribution. You know how hard it is to even distribute books. How many of the people who are taking the books are immediately taking to Krishna consciousness? And what to speak of, committing themselves, coming to the point of initiation, surrendering their lives, becoming pure devotees? But you see the influence. One person has created, and it is still increasing by his influence, Srila Prabhupada, all over the world. So the merit, you can understand the merit of a devotee, a Vaishnava, by the proportion of the number of devotees he has created, and the quality of the devotional service. That's already, that's understood. Rantidev was such a pure devotee, right? Rantidev, here the word Rantidevanuvartinaha indicates Anuvartinaha. Rantideva Anuvartinaha. That means his followers. Who are his followers? His officers, his friends, his family, right? His subjects, the citizens, they're all his followers. Rantidevanuvartinaha means his officers, his relatives, family, his friends, other kings, right? And also his citizens. Everyone became first class Vaishnavas. Number is there certainly, but quality is also there. First class Vaishnavas. Everyone became first class Vaishnavas. How? By his association. So, when Srila Prabhupada was on this planet, Devotees got his personal association. Yes. But now we all of us also got his association. Otherwise, why we are here? How we are here? But it is up to us to keep that association, to continue taking that association. We have to take that step. Mercy comes, but we also have to take our step. Those two fingers of Yashodamais, remember. First is endeavor, second is Krishna's mercy. Endeavor has to be there. So, by the association of a pure devotee, we will also become pure devotees. But you have to take that association now, especially. You have to take that association. How do you take that association? From his books are there, purports are there. The books are always available wherever you are there now. They're also available electronically, right? They're always available. You have the app on your phone. Phone is with you all the time. We check the WhatsApp messages so many times in a day, isn't it? Along with the messages, we can just go to our Gita base and read just a little bit from one verse of Bhagavad Gita, one verse of Bhagavatam. We are associating with a pure devotee. What is the result of association of a pure devotee? So you're seeking it. You're seeking the association. When you seek that association, then you get mercy. And when you get mercy, you get Krishna's mercy. You become a pure devotee. That's it. So here, Rantidev was there, his officers with him, working under him, his family was associating with him, watching him every day, and his citizens also. He's their king. Everyone became first class Vaishnavas by his association. By his association. Yeah. Of course, you have to seek. It's not, otherwise, what's the difference? If, like a blanket, sometimes that also happens. When the Lord comes, that also happens. And when his pure devotee comes, also it happens. Like anyone. But still, there is just like when there is rain, rain falls everywhere, isn't it? Rain falls on mountains, it falls on the ocean, and it falls on fertile land, barren land, everywhere rain falls. But the land which is fertile, when the rain falls, immediately there is germination of the seeds and there is a growth, vegetation. Plants grow nicely. And the same mercy, the same rain fell on mountains also. I mean to say rocks or on the ocean. You don't see any growth there from that rain. So the mercy is coming everywhere. So it's not just one. Mercy is coming, but from our side also there has to be. That is why ye yathamam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. As one approaches me, I reward him accordingly. Mercy is falling, but you see different manifestation in different people of that mercy. In some people, immediately, they can take it right away and they can make progress. And others, even after hearing, because not attentive, not considering it so important. Okay, along with everything else, this is also going on. So that is why there is a difference in how each devotee is progressing. It also depends on how we take it, isn't it? But certainly it's not going to go waste, no doubt, right? Coming in association of a pure devotee, it's just a matter of time. For some people, it can happen immediately. Again, why someone is taking it so seriously, why others are not taking it so seriously, that's also a science. If one has a lot of offenses from past, it's like a wet wood which is moist, damp wood. You try to light fire, first so much smoke will come. That means all that wetness is removed. So it takes some time. But if you keep it in fire, it is acting. Just because you don't see it burning right away, it doesn't mean nothing is happening to that wood. No, it's acting. Keep it in the fire. By keeping it in the fire, first so much smoke will come. That means all that dampness is removed. And finally, when it becomes dry, it just lights up. Whereas some other piece of wood which is dry, as soon as you light it, immediately it catches fire. So wet wood and dry wood. Some devotees are like wet wood, other devotees are like dry wood. Who is wet wood and who is dry wood? Dry wood means they have very less offenses. Offenses are not as strong. Whereas wet wood means lot of offenses. Because of those offenses, even though we come in association of devotees, even though we come in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam and we are chanting, still we are not able to see the result right away. We are not fired up, in devotional service right away because of a lot of offenses. Then what is the solution? You have to continue. We have to continue like that. Keep doing it. By that, all those offenses, because the only way these offenses can be mitigated is by chanting the holy names of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna. Offenses cannot be removed by any other process, not other forms of bhakti. The holy name, especially offenses to the holy name, who can remove? Only holy name can remove. So therefore, that is why some devotees are able to take to bhakti right away as soon as they come in association. So that does not mean, there's also another point here. Sometimes when the devotee is very, very powerful, so the devotee himself has that power by his bhakti. Power means what? He has so much bhakti, so much power. By his power, he can even remove the offenses. He can remove the offenses also. Big, what do you call them? Boulders, right? Big boulder-like offenses. Lord Nityananda Prabhu or his representative, a Vaishnava, spiritual master, can just kick away boulder-like offenses so that your bhakti creeper can nicely grow. It's possible. But if you don't,
Mataji, what do you mean by power?
Bhakti, his bhakti. To what extent? Just like here we are seeing Rantidev is Mahabhagavat. Someone may not be a Mahabhagavat. Another person may be just like we also go on book distribution, we also preach to people, but we are not Mahabhagavatas. We are still struggling. We didn't even enter into, Shuddha Sadhana Bhakti yet. But we are trying. We started and we are also trying to assist someone. So when we preach to somebody, when we tell someone, there is some effect. But are we able to remove their offenses? We are not able to. Why? Because our bhakti is not so powerful, right? But somebody, a very powerful devotee means his bhakti is so strong. Again, is so strong means again, how do you measure someone's bhakti? His love for Krishna, prema. By how much love he has for Krishna, by that you can measure who is an advanced devotee, who is less. And then it's a whole science in Bhakti Prakara. It is explained. How do you measure the prema? What are the steps to measure someone's prema? All that is there. But in short, in essence, someone who has more love for Krishna, he has more power, and he can actually remove even the offenses. And once the offenses are removed, it's like making that wood dry. Then when they come in the association, immediately we see all the hippies, right? When Srila Prabhupada came, by his association, by his pure chanting, by eating the prasadam which he has prepared, his personal presence, they just gave their lives to him, surrendered everything. How many devotees are able to do that now? I'm not saying there are no devotees like that. Otherwise, how so many brahmacharis are joining in the temple, giving up everything? It is still happening by the mercy. So that mercy of Prabhupada is coming down in Guru Parampara through his disciples. That's also coming. But yeah, the point is why some people are able to take and others are not able to take. You listen to the same class, right? And some people are very much, it's life transforming for some people, whereas for others, it's just, another class. That's it, no change. Or some little change somewhere, but not really noticeable. Why these differences? Because of offenses. Then what is the solution? Well, there is no powerful devotee. Then what should I do? we always have the powerful devotee Srila Prabhupada. We can always take his association, worship him, do Guru Puja every day, pray to him, read his books, follow his instructions, and that mercy is still available to us. But we
So
have,
so Prabhupada is the powerful example of powerful devotee. That's what you mean, right?
yes, one devotee. One example I'm giving is Srila Prabhupada, and his disciples are also there now. So physical presence is always very powerful, but you don't have that physical presence all the time. Then that is why we have to always connect with the Vani, with instructions. When the physical presence is available, we get it as much as possible, but it's understood that physical presence is not possible all the time. Therefore, we should always hold on tightly to the Vani, the instructions. So today also we have Srila Prabhupada's Vani with us. We have the Vani of our spiritual masters. How many times are we able to see our spiritual masters? Even if we see him, how many times are we able to talk to the spiritual masters? Right? So, but Vani is always there. The lectures are there, books are there. So if we hold on to that Vani, through their instructions, mercy is flowing. So it's just you have to keep your pots, go there with your pots, collect the mercy. And what is that pot? Your ears, right? Be attentive, they open your hearts, eagerly accept the mercy that is coming. Then, yes, even offenses can also be removed and improve the quality of our devotional service. Then, like this, Rantidev Maharaj, all his associates, can you imagine? I mean, it's like Ramaraja, right? Lord Ramchandra was personally the king. The entire kingdom, everyone went back to Godhead with Lord Ramchandra. They were all pure devotees. Like that. Rantidev was such a pure devotee. By his influence, his family, his officers, soldiers, all the citizens, all the friends that he knew, all the other kings, everyone became, not that they also turned to Krishna consciousness, they became first class Vaishnavas. First class Vaishnava means Uttamadhikari. They all became first class Vaishnavas. Always. So, they became the best of yogis means what? The best of yogi is one who is always thinking of Krishna within his heart. That is the symptom of asakti stage of bhakti, it is said, always thinking of Krishna. They're all very advanced devotees. Everyone, the entire kingdom. It's the spiritual world. This is the power of a Vaishnava. So how do you know who is an advanced devotee? Because of course we should seek out the association of advanced devotees, no doubt about that. But at the same time, we honor and respect and appreciate whatever association we can get. But still, if you have an option, you will seek out a devotee who's more advanced, because he has more bhakti, more prema, so more power, bhakti power, right? So we will certainly seek out that association. Then how can you tell which sadhu is more advanced? So we have some guidelines here. So a Vaishnava becomes superior not simply by jugglery of words, but by the number of devotees he has created for the Lord. So that is why a preacher is very dear to Krishna, because he takes the risk, he goes out and he preaches to the people, new people, who don't know anything about Krishna consciousness. And after bringing them to Krishna consciousness, he trains them, right? And like this, not just one or two, he's making hundreds and thousands of devotees. The more devotees and devotees who have dedicated their lives to Krishna, the more devotees a person makes, you understand he's actually an advanced Vaishnava. Like that. Rantidev is, of course, a great Vaishnava, Mahabhagavad devotee. How do you know? His whole kingdom, everyone became pure Vaishnavas. The last line, I'll just read. In other words, Rantidev is confirmed herein Because everyone, all of his subjects became first-class Vaishnavas. This is a confirmation that he is a first-class devotee. So if he is a first-class devotee and everyone else became first-class devotee means, so first-class devotee means, see, Srila Prabhupada is translating as Mahabhagavata. All his followers became Mahabhagavatas. Can you imagine? All his followers became Mahabhagavatas like him. What kind of a devotee is Rantidev? How they became Mahabhagavatas? Mahat Sevan Dwara Mahur Vimuktehe. By service to a Mahat. Mahat means this Mahabhagavat. By service to this Mahabhagavat, the doors of liberation are opened. Doors of liberation are opened. Therefore, take every opportunity to serve a Mahabhagavat. We have Mahabhagavat in all our temples and in our homes also on the altar. Make sure that you render service. And of course, Srila Prabhupada even said about his spiritual master, the God brothers, on Vyas Puja day, they would offer flowers and say some nice words in glorification of the spiritual master. But really, that is okay, that is good, right? Offering flowers, and that is okay. But a real service to a devotee is to understand his mission and to help him in his mission, to assist him in his mission. That's exactly what Srila Prabhupada did. And he took the mission of his spiritual master as his life and soul. And you see the result. So, if you want to render service to a Mahabhagavat, by rendering service to a Mahabhagavat, the doors of liberation open, right? Mahat Sevam Dwara Mahur Vimuktehe. By service to a Mahabhagavat, the doors to liberation are open. Then what is service to Mahabhagavat? Assist him. Assist him in his mission. Whatever, first understand what is his mission, and then you assist him in his mission. So there are various fields he has given, right? Book distribution, preaching, temple worship, Vaishnava, communities, bringing devotees together. So according to our capacity, whatever we are able to do, everyone has a debt. We have received so much from this society, from Srila Prabhupada. So we have a debt. We have to offer something in return. We should feel that and try to do. And then when we actually feel that way and we want to render some service, even our Srila Prabhupada is asking his spiritual master, what can I do for you? I don't know. He was already helping in opening Gaudiya Muts, funding them and all that. But still, this was the last letter, right? To Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Prabhupada says, I'm a Grihastha. I'm not able to do anything much for you in your preaching mission, like your Brahmachari and Sannyasi disciples. They are doing so much. I don't know how I can serve you. Like that, he just wrote. Srila Prabhupada says in his own words. Why he wrote like that? He said, I was actually thinking like that. What can I do for my spiritual master? So like that, if we think, what can I do to help you? Then the message will come. Instructions will come. Right? Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi ogam tam. I will give the intelligence, Krishna says. So then, yeah, according to our capacity, not everyone can do everything, right? But everyone has something that they can offer. What is it that we can offer in our capacity? Pray. Pray to Srila Prabhupada. What can I offer to you? And then the message will come. And then try to put your endeavor in that. Offer that as an offering to Srila Prabhupada. By this service to a Mahabhagavat, what happens? Mercy will come. And then, like Rantidev's followers, everyone became Mahabhagavatas like him. There are so many fields. Somebody is doing prasadam distribution, right? In Gainesville, Florida, they do prasadam, just every day cooking prasadam, engaging all their energy in this mission, like that. someone is doing book distribution, somebody is doing congregational preaching. Do selfless service, right? Not expecting what I will get in return from this, not with that attitude, but even whatever service that we are trying to do that much without any expectation in return, just an offering to Srila Prabhupada, to Krishna. And then little by little, बूंद बूंद से सागर भरता है. Every drop counts towards forming an ocean. So every day offer something like that. Okay, so we'll stop here. We read, I think, only one verse again. But
Mataji, Mataji, organize that pure devotees symptoms. So can I read it out? I
yes,
organized it.
Mataji. Yeah, please go ahead.
A pure devotee, he doesn't make any endeavor for his own self. He sees his Ishtadev Lord in all living entities. He cannot tolerate other living entities' pain and sufferings. Rather, he will take suffering. He sees only the Lord, only the Lord, no desire for liberation. It's Anna Vilashita Shunyam. His focus
One
is,
second, a little correction in that one. He sees
Yeah,
only
yeah.
the Lord means his only desire is to please the Lord.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no other desire. Anyabhilashita shunyam, no other desire, no desire for liberation, no desire for material progress, no desire for siddhis, but his desire is to please the Lord. That is fourth point.
Okay. His desire is to please the Lord. Okay.
Yeah, only desire is to please the Lord.
Okay. And his focus is unbroken. He is free from all material desires. He always follows the Ishavasham principle. He is satisfied and accept whatever Lord has given him pain and pleasure.
So the last point, Mataji, it's kind of mixed up. That Ishavasyam principle can come in the first one only, because he's not making endeavor for his maintenance, right? He's depending on the Lord. He's not making any endeavor. So Ishavasyam principle is not exactly a symptom of a pure devotee that is expected of all human beings. That was the point that Usha Mataji had brought up. So I just kind of tied it in. That is not said in Rantidev's case. Mataji
So-
said she remembered, Ishavasyam when she heard this. So Ishavasyam means recognizing that everything belongs to the Lord, and the Lord has set aside as quota for each person. I will take what is my quota. I will not encroach on others' quota. But a pure devotee is even beyond that. So let's not add that in these points.
So there won't be any point number 6, right?
So I'll tell again. Point 1, you said he doesn't make any endeavor for his maintenance. He depends on the Lord. Point 2 is he's seeing the Lord in every living entity. Therefore, he's offering everything to everyone. And point 3 is he has no desire for liberation, no desire for siddhis. His desire is only to please Krishna.
Okay.
And then the fourth point is he sees the suffering of others as his own suffering. Therefore, he wants to mitigate others' suffering, and in order to do that, he wants to undergo all their suffering so that they can be liberated from that pain. The compassion part. This is the fourth one. Okay. Then the fifth. Next point. Should I tell the next one?
Yeah.
And the fifth point is his focus is only on Krishna. It's not diverted to anyone else. Ananya in this case means, Anya means others. Ananya means no one else, only Krishna. Because when the demigods appeared, he didn't think, oh, I can ask them, they can give so many. No. He offered his respects to them, but he had nothing to ask from them. So he's not deviated, diverted from his Ishtadev. He's only focused on his Lord, no one else. That's fifth point.
Should I add that is free
Yeah.
from material desire?
No, desire don't bring it. It's already said in third point. No desire, right? He
Yeah.
has only desire is to please Krishna, no other desire. That is said. Here, not desire. Here it's about the object of worship. Not that I will also worship Krishna, but I will also worship Ganesha and I will also worship, others, this, that, so many others, because this is my family tradition, or, my friend said this. I will also worship Ayyappa and I will also worship, like that. So many, most Hindu altars, if you see, they'll have everyone there. They will have Sai Baba, they will have Ganesha, they will have Durga Ji, they will have Lakshmi Devi, they will have Lord Ramchandra. Everyone will be there and everyone is honored. No,
Ram Krishna.
Ram Krishna. So therefore, Ananya means only Krishna or only your Ishtadev, whoever, right? Vishnu Tattva, either Lord Nrsingadev or Krishna or Rama. Ananya, your Ishtadev is one. You have a relationship with that Lord, right? He is my focus. Ananya. So in this case, Rantidev, about Rantidev, it is said Lord Vishnu. Ananya. Okay? Fifth point. And the sixth point is continuous meditation, no break of meditation. So what we are doing here is we are actually going deeper, right? So it all looks like the same point, but if you study, observe it closely, you'll see there is details. So continuous meditation without any breaking. He's always focused on the lotus feet of Lord Vasudev. Therefore, when he saw the demigods, he didn't get distracted. So we brought the sixth point, continuous meditation. It's not broken by anything else, any other activity or any other distraction. 6 points. Okay.
So I can write without any distraction. Is that okay?
Yeah, continuous meditation, you can say. Continuous meditation on the lotus feet of Lord Vasudev.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up, reiterating those 6 points. This is very important, pure devotional service, because we want to be pure devotees. So first of all, we should understand what is a pure devotee. Then we can aspire. Just like you want to buy diamonds, if you don't know what is a diamond, what you will shop? You go to the market, people, everyone on the street will, like in Jagannath Puri on the beach, they'll say pearls, pearls, right? If you don't know what is a pearl, you think, oh, you're getting pearls for so cheap, let me buy. But you're not getting pearls. So before you shop for pearls, you should first understand what is a pearl. Like that, if you want to be pure devotee, first understand what are the features of a pure devotee, what are the principles of pure devotional service. Then we won't get cheated. Then there won't be sahajiya, type that foolishly will be thinking that, oh, I'm already a pure devotee. I see symptoms of pure devotional service in my life. We won't get fooled like that. When we study it as a science, what is pure devotional service? And at the same time, when we see someone, we can also recognize someone who has these symptoms, then we can go and put our head on their lotus feet. Oh, wow, this is a pure devotee. He doesn't have any other desires, right? And he's not making any endeavor for his, he doesn't worry about his maintenance. Krishna will provide for him. Like this, these symptoms, by the consciousness of the devotee, you can recognize who is a pure devotee. Not by sentiment or not by popular vote or just because, no, it's a science. Okay, so we will stop Srimad Bhagavatam reading here. I already bookmarked for tomorrow. Aditi Lata Mataji read, so Arunita will start tomorrow, and then if Inba and Inya are there, they will read like that. Okay, Mataji already read, and Arunita will start tomorrow. Let's read Bhagavad Gita. I know it's past time. If you need to go, please feel free to go. I'll just read Bhagavad Gita and Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 1. We're coming to the end, text 44. Please repeat. Aho bata mahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukha lobhena hantum swajanam udyatah. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Yes. So after giving all his reasons why Arjun is saying why he should not fight. So you remember the last one that he said, of course, there are different reasons he gives, but this last one is we'll get sin. So he says, if I kill the elder members, what will happen? Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmobi bhavatyuta. If I kill the elder members of the family, then who will pass on the family traditions to the next generation, to the younger members? And because nobody is there to teach them the values and traditions, there will be irreligion in the family. Adharmabhi bhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastya. What happens when there is irreligion? The women will become adulterated. What happens when the women are adulterated? Varna Sankara are produced or unwanted children are produced. What is the result of getting unwanted children? The family will go to hell. Unwanted children, they won't do any, they won't offer any pinda to the ancestors. So all the ancestors who are in Pitraloka, they'll go to hell. And the current existing family members, they will go to hell certainly because they are not doing any religious activities. And besides this, the entire society is spoiled because these people, Varna Sankara, they won't do any community projects or family welfare activities. And the people who are cause for this situation, that means those who killed these elder members, they will also go to hell. So I will be responsible for all this if I fought this battle. And why am I fighting this battle, by the way, Krishna? This verse. Simply because of a desire to enjoy royal happiness. Is that the reason why Arjun is fighting? Or at least he's thinking that's why he's fighting. I want a kingdom so that I can enjoy royal happiness. Right now we are in the forest, we don't have a kingdom. So let me fight this battle so I'll get a kingdom and I'll become. If that is the reason why he is fighting, then that's wrong. So he has to adjust the reason. So don't stop. Another lesson we get here. Don't stop your activity. Stop the motivation. Change the motivation of the activity. Isn't it? You don't need to stop the activity. Change the motivation. Why you are doing that activity. Then we'll become Krishna conscious. Whatever activity I'm doing, what is the motivation behind it? Why am I doing this? Ask yourself. You don't have to tell others. You ask yourself and you will see if the answer, and if I'm doing this for this, then why I'm doing that? Why? And you come down, you will see it's just for me, for my sense gratification. Change the motivation. Don't do it for that purpose. And if that's the only motivation that's coming out, then don't do that activity only. If you cannot do that activity for Krishna consciousness, then don't do that activity. But if you can dovetail that activity in Krishna consciousness, go ahead. And be conscious of why you're doing that activity always. Then you're Krishna conscious. Because you're doing it for Krishna. And you're conscious of that while doing that activity. Isn't it? So Arjun is saying, I don't want to fight. See why? Because of this fight, so much loss is happening and everyone is going to hell. And all this is because I want to enjoy royal happiness. That's my motivation of fighting. So how strange it is, Arjun is saying. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen. Yeah, and if this is the motivation why we are doing activities and we shouldn't do, it's sin, right? Killing someone so that I can enjoy, of course it is a sin. Purport. But then what will Krishna say later on? We'll see the reason why he should fight. Purport. Driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world. Yes, Aurangzeb arrested all his brothers and his father so that he can become the emperor and enjoy. So killing one's brother and father and mother, this is sinful activity, especially you're doing this so that you can enjoy. There are many such instances in the history of the world. But Arjun, is that the case why Arjun is fighting? No. Arjun, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. This line is so important. In a neophyte's condition, we think that if I am devotee, I am exempt from all moral principles. I can do anything, right? I can cheat, I can uh, uh, lie, and so on and so forth. But because I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I'm a devotee, Krishna will protect me. That's not a devotee. Arjun is a devotee, right? Naam ke bal pe aparadh, committing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy names. This is very grave offense. So, actually, one who is a devotee, Arjun, Srila Prabhupada is saying, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, he is always conscious of moral principles and he takes care to avoid such activities. He takes care to avoid such activities. And there's a lot of discussion on that. Now we don't have time. Another time we can discuss why a devotee abides by religious principles very carefully. Although he is, if he's a pure devotee, he's exempt from that. Still he will follow. Why he follows, that's another discussion. But here we are seeing that Arjun, he's very careful, right? So he's saying, I'm killing all my family members. This is sinful. Of course, it's not applicable in Arjun's case. Krishna will explain that later on. So next we'll read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita. Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita continuation. Okay, so what we read yesterday was that Srila Prabhupada allowed devotees to use any instruments to accompany the chanting of the holy name. But simply musical instruments and music without chanting, is it of any value? No, because the power is in the mantra, is in the words. So if you actually want benefit, spiritual benefit, just music, no, it's not entertained, only music. The music is an accompaniment to the Mahamantra. Mahamantra must be chanted. And then with that, you can use any amount of instruments, any number of instruments, that's fine. And if you don't have any musical instruments, you simply chant, still it is powerful. But if you don't have Mahamantra and if you're simply playing music, it's like a dead body without soul. As far as devotional progress is concerned. So next, carol. It was a very interracial, music-oriented scene. There were a few professional musicians and a lot of people who enjoyed playing or just listening. Some people were painting in some of the lofts. And that's basically what was going on. We had memorable kirtans. One time, there was a beautiful ceremony. Some of us went over early to prepare for it. There must have been 100 people who came that day. So, for the Bowery crowd, sound was spirit and spirit was sound. in a merging of music and meditation. But for Prabhupada, music without the name of God was not meditation. It was sense gratification. Okay? Music without the name of God is sense gratification, or at most a kind of stylized impersonal meditation. At most, right? If there is just music playing and if people are thinking this is meditation, at most it can be stylized impersonal meditation, but it's not real meditation. But he was glad to see the musicians coming to play along in his kirtans, to hear him and to chant responsively. Some, having stayed up all night playing somewhere on their instruments, would come by in the morning and sing with the Swami. That means all night they were playing instruments here and there, wherever, and in the morning they would come to sing with the Swami. He did not dissuade them from their focus on sound. Rather, he gave them sound. In the Vedas, sound is said to be the first element of material creation. Yes? What is sound? So you have pancha tanmatras, sense objects, and you have the five senses. What are the five senses? Or let's say no, pancha tanmatras and the five gross elements. So from false ego, you get, false ego in goodness, false ego in passion, false ego in ignorance. Creation, when creation happens, this is how creation is unfolding. So false ego in ignorance produces the five gross elements and the five sense objects. So what are the five gross elements? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. And what are the five sense objects? Sound, form, taste, smell, touch. These are the five sense objects. Now, how are they created? What is the order? What is the sequence in which they are created? First, the sense object, sound, is created. Or, sound. And from that sound, which one comes first? The sense, the element sound, the element ether comes first, or the sound comes first? Which is more subtle?
Sound,
Ether or
Mataji.
sound? So sound comes, and then
Ether, from ether to sound, no, Mataji? That's what I knew, but I may be wrong.
okay, I'll check. But like that, they come together, and then the next thing is air, and along with air, 1 second. Sound comes from ether. No, first sound, ether comes, and ether has sound. Okay. And then the next element is air, and air has sound plus touch. So that means the quality is coming first, but it is not manifest. It is subtle, isn't it? Subtle one comes first, but subtle is not manifest. When the gross comes, then the subtle becomes manifest. You understand? But subtle comes first, always. Just like the subtle body is already there. From the subtle body, the gross body becomes manifest. Understand? So these five are the gross elements. These five are the gross elements. The subtle counterparts of these five gross elements are, for ether, it is sound. For air, it is touch. For fire, it is form. For smell, earth. Okay, for water it is taste, and for earth it is smell. Okay, so when a gross element becomes manifest, it has these subtle things in it. That means the subtle ones come first. So first sound comes, but where do you see that sound? It is manifested in ether. So that's why they come. When you see the manifestation, you see them together. Ether has sound. And then the next you see is air. Air has sound and touch. And next thing that comes is form, fire, fire. So fire has sound, touch, and form. Then next is water. Water has sound, touch, form, and taste. And the last one is earth. Earth has sound, touch, form, taste, and smell or fragrance, like this. But the subtle comes first, so sound comes first. So that's what is said here. Going back. In the Vedas, sound is said to be the first element of material creation. The source of sound is God, right? Veda. Veda is what? It is the Lord's energy. The source of sound is God, and God is eternally a person. Prabhupada's emphasis was on getting people to chant God's personal, transcendental name, whether they took it as jazz, folk music, rock, or Indian meditation, made no difference as long as they began to chant Hare Krishna. Again, we see the vision of a pure devotee. You see, like we were discussing earlier in the class today, that a pure devotee, we were discussing about Rantidev, when he sees, what is his vision? When he sees trees bowing down, he's saying, oh, they're bowing down to each other because they're seeing the bhakti in the other tree, or they're seeing the Lord. This tree is seeing Krishna in the heart of the other person, and this tree is bowing down to Krishna. This tree is so exalted. This tree is seeing Krishna in everyone, even in the other trees. So therefore, whoever this tree sees, this tree is bowing down because this tree is seeing Krishna everywhere. Is the tree bowing down? No, it is this devotee, pure devotee, seeing that tree, and he's thinking this tree is bowing down. Now, if I were there, what would I think? Oh, this tree is bent because it is too long, right? Too tall, and it is not able to hold itself up straight. Maybe it is bent down. Or it has so many fruits, it's so heavy, so it is bending down. That's my vision. But what is a pure devotee's vision? Similarly, all these people who are coming to Srila Prabhupada, they were all seeing that uh, this is sound, right? This is jazz. They were all playing different music, and they were coming and playing their musical instruments to accompany Srila Prabhupada's chanting. But what is Srila Prabhupada seeing? Whether you call it jazz or you call it rock and roll or you call it Indian meditational music or whatever they are saying, after all, sound, any type of sound, the original sound is coming from God. Sound is God. So, and that God is a person and is non-different from his name. Now, when I'm chanting and they are playing music for this name, they're actually directly coming in touch with Krishna. As long as they're chanting Krishna's name, whatever musical instrument they may be using and whichever style they may be playing that music, it's okay as long as they're chanting the Hare Krishna. This is the vision of a pure devotee. Okay, so we'll end here. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna. You are very kind. You stayed back over 38, over half an hour today. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank
We
you,
feel
Mataji.
nice. We won't even know when the time, unless some chores come up in hand.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Mataji,
I
Hare
hope
Krishna.
Jeet will feel better. Aditi Lata Mataji left. Okay.